Yo, hello, hello. Yo, hello, hello. Let's get started. No out intro, no outro. This is just us going at it. I promised you two things for tonight. I want to add value. If you don't like the biggest and baddest and boldest opportunity in real estate, I know this will help you in your career. It's completely free, but take it to the bank. It will definitely work. And that is put pressure on yourself. Always, always, first and foremost, put pressure on yourself. Don't put pressure on your customers. Don't put pressure on your team. Don't put pressure on anything but you. How do you do that? That's the key thing is how do you accomplish that? If you have a customer and you're doing a transaction, whether you're the buying agent or listing agent, whatever it is, and you're putting this undue pressure on your client. Now, I know there's certain circumstances where you have to tell the client, hey, this is probably the best we're going to get. And you got to be honest and tell them those things. However, the majority of the pressure you put on them is incorrect. And that's because you don't have anything else. Put pressure on you to get more listing, to get more buyers. Put all the pressure, all the onus on you. Own everything because your client can feel you. If you're sitting at a listing appointment and you have to have that listing appointment, they're going to know it. They're going to feel it. You're not going to be their listing agent. Okay. Put pressure on yourself always. Number two, if you're building a business, if you're building a team, when I show you this magical thing called revenue share, and you start building, don't put pressure on your team. Put pressure on you. How do you do that? Well, I watch leaders like crack the whip. I'm going to get my team in shape and tell them they need to go out and do 35 open houses this weekend and 72, whatever. Stop it. Put pressure on yourself to go out and get more people. Get more so you don't have to put pressure on somebody. Now, accountability is a different thing. It's kind of like the transaction. Sometimes you got to be honest with your client. Say, listen, this is the best we're going to get. We need to take this. That's different than having commission breath. Much different. So is accountability. Now, only hold people accountable that want to be held accountable. Unsolicited advice is critiquing. You're going to lose everybody. They're going to hate you. Sorry. But you can have more of your people hold themselves accountable. Are you ready? If you will hold yourself accountable to the team. That simple. You want to help people on your team get more transactions, bring in more people. Number one. So take pressure off the folks on your team, put pressure on yourself to go out and get more people. And this is a behavior that I want you to adapt. Write it down, just in case you forget. You need to have an attitude of, I'm going to do this with or without you. I developed that attitude about 20 years ago and it radically changed everything. My team members, the top people doing the top amount of business, they knew I was going to do this with or without them. I want them. I want them to stay, no doubt. I want them to be part of our community. I want them to have abundance and do very well. But they know I will do it with or without them. There's a huge difference in need versus want. I want them on the team. I don't need them on the team. I will build. I will be successful. Come check back on me in 5 years. See how great I'm doing. I promise you I'll be doing great here. I don't need you. I want you. I want you on this team. Okay. So if you could take those two things, it could radically change everything you do in business. Okay. You're putting pressure on the wrong things. You just are. Put pressure on you always. You don't need to have this call with your team and whip it into shape. You need to whip yourself into shape. I've always noticed over the years, the more disciplined I was, the more consistent I was, the better the team did. It wasn't some great strategic leadership speech that I gave. It was simply me being more consistent to myself, me being a leader to myself, and people followed. The only way to do it. And always put pressure on yourself. I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to give you that. Now let's talk about the biggest, boldest, baddest opportunity in real estate. I have been fortunate and I have a unique position in that I built a company outside of real estate and I sold it. And I'm new to the real estate arena. But what I'm not new to is this system that Glenn built. Glenn Sanford is our founder and CEO or owner. He was the CEO. We now have a new CEO, but that doesn't matter. Glenn built this thing. He built this machine with the help of a lot of people. He's that type of leader. And I'm telling you, there's nothing better. I come from the outside, not the inside. I did go to someone else's national convention. That is what they called. They called it the traditional model. They're now, I'm hearing legacy. I don't really care what you want to call it, but I'll show you what that model is versus our model. But I'm telling you, outside looking in, this is the best, hands down. Now there's four amazing pillars. The fourth one is the one. The fourth one is the one. Okay. But number one is you have to have leads. You have to offer a CRM for your agents. We have that. We have a CRM. And I've been blessed and worked with some great CRMs in the medical industry. I've worked with some great CRMs in insurance and financial advising. This inside of real estate, this CRM that we use, that we have access to, that is given to us, phenomenal. It's a machine. It's a locomotive. It runs when you're not working. Like right now, my CRM is reaching out to my clients and taking care of me without me having to do it. So that was vital to the success of us building something great here. Number two is you have to have education and training. Now, I watch every company out there because I looked at a bunch before I joined here, and everybody says they have the greatest education and training. I don't necessarily believe that. In fact, I don't care how great your education and training is, because I have the secret sauce to help you get your team to utilize the education and training that exists. The training and education is everywhere, my friend. I have a very close friend that built a pool company with no experience by watching YouTube videos. The training is there. The challenge is how people utilize training. And I'm telling you right now, I have the secret. I can teach you and your team how to actually use the education and training that we have. Now, our education and training, I think, bar none, the best. Everyone says that. I know we say it too, but I'm telling you, it's the best. It's on demand. Late at night, when it's not during income producing activities, I can train myself. It's on demand. Press a button, boom, it shows up on my iPhone, my iPad, my Mac, my whatever. It's everywhere. You can get training. And more importantly, you can do it when it's not income producing activity. So you see a lot of real estate agents get it very confused and well, I feel like I'm doing so much. That stuff needs to be done later. And I'll explain that some other time. But income producing activity is income producing activity. And I've noticed something about the real estate world. They think they're doing it by going to 2,000 networking events. That ain't income producing activity. Someone got to pick up phone, make a cold call. Sorry. Now, we'll discuss that at a later date. So one, KV core, or sorry, CRM. Number two, education training. We got it. And on that, I've got the secret sauce to teach you how to take advantage of it and do it the best. And I'm not great at a lot of things, but I'm great at that. Number three, equity. This one got me pretty fired up. We have the opportunity to get equity in the company. If you do your first transaction, you get equity in the company. If you become an icon agent, you get equity in the company. If you if you sponsor someone and they come in and do a transaction, you get equity in the company. There's so many Oh, you can also purchase equity in the company at a discount. Now I know there's some people smarter than me that will want to look into it and try to understand it. But I'm telling you right now, it's at a discount. Don't confuse this. Get it. Okay. So there's several ways you can get, there's five actually total that you can get equity in the company. And I love that. I love the opportunity that I can have someone join my team and they can get equity immediately. Okay. And now let's go to the fourth. Let me pull up I want to draw some things for you real quick. Three, two, one. Here we are. Start. All right. Oh, hey, I'm going to draw something out for you here. Curious if you have ever seen this. I read a book almost 15 years ago, and it had that right there. It stands for employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. Okay. And when I read that, it radically changed the way I looked at the world. I thought, so for starters, I used to be an employee. Nothing wrong with being an employee. Ain't knocking it, ain't beating it up. We need employees. I used to be an employee. I got fired from that job and I was no longer an employee and I became self employed. Okay. And this is where it gets a bit confusing because a lot of people get fired up here in this self employed world. They really do. And I'm noticing a lot of real estate agents do too. They feel like they have this crazy independence and this crazy mentality that I run a business, I run an empire. No, self is not an empire. Okay. In fact, when self isn't working, self is unemployed. And it's now worse than being an employee. It's actually better at this point to be an employee because over here you can act like you're working and still keep your job, right? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Don't lie to me. So I wanted to understand this whole phenomenon about being self-employed. Well, when I read this book that had this in here called the Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, he talked about becoming a business owner. And oh my dear, my life changed. And I, as long as I have air in my lungs, I will tell you about the business opportunity that Glenn is allowing you and I to build off of his platform because I know how it will radically change your life and everything around you. See, once you come up to this business category and you build a business, now everything is not dependent on you. Let me ask you a question. Would you like to go on vacation for 2 months? Where's your favorite place to go? Italy, Florence. My wife loves Florence, Italy. Where would you like to go for 2 months? Just how about you travel Europe for 2 months? You come back and your business is bigger. And the whole time you were there, you made money. See, that's what being a business owner is. I, I have watched self-employed people and they always try to make themselves feel so important and so busy. I watch it all the time. Every time we go on trips and go places, like I just got back from Cabo and I watched the self-employed people. They're always on their phone. They're talking really loud. They're feeling really important. And they want everybody to know they're, man, I'm doing a transaction, man. I'm doing a deal right now. I am important. I watch them, man. And then you watch the business owners strolling about the place in Cabo, shaking everybody's hand, getting to know everybody, saying hello. My dear friend that, my sponsor is Daniel Ing. Actually, two people are in between him and I, but he's the one that's mentoring me right now. He was in Cabo, and that dude was just walking around, strolling around Cabo, building relationships, meeting people, not on the phone, acting like they're important, closing that deal. I'm telling you, that's not the way to live. The way Daniel does it is he gets to go there with his family. And by the way, he took his family and his kids, and they got to ride horses and swim with dolphins and do this and do that. That's where I want you. And as long as I have air in my lungs, I'm going to talk to you about building a business here. So that is the difference right there. And hey, by the way, it's okay to be at the self-employed. I'm not knocking that either. Because you have to go out there and do some transactions to pay the bills. Pay the bills. Absolutely. Don't be lazy. Get out there and pay the bills. But this is for future. And it's the same in my old business as it is here. The reason real estate agents don't do it, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, it takes longer. This takes longer. But let me ask you something. Haven't you heard over and over and over and over again that the longer it takes, the better it is? It's the same thing here. The longer it takes to build that, the better it is. That's simple. The other reason people don't want, or I shouldn't say don't want to, but hesitate is one, they want to know everything. I hear it all the time. God, I just need to know more before I bring people in. And this is what I'm going to say to you right now. I brought in 14 people and I didn't even know how to spell realtor, or real estate. Okay. Didn't know how to do a transaction. Didn't know what sky slope was. Didn't know nothing. Didn't even know what a contract looked like. Didn't even know what to do when my buyer came to me. And this happened. A buyer came to me and said, "Hey, I want to buy that home." And I was like, "Okay, what do I got to do?" I didn't know what to do when my seller came to me and said, "Hey, I want you to list my home." I didn't have signs. I didn't have nothing, but I had 14 people on my team. So you have to use this thing called leverage. And we have the greatest leverage, and I'm gonna draw it out for you, in the world. There's nothing greater. Absolutely nothing greater when it comes to leverage than what it is EXP. So like I said, and I'll say it, and I'm gonna say it every time I talk to you. As long as I got air in these lungs, I'm gonna talk to you about the business opportunity. Why? Because I've been broke. I've lost all my cars. I've lost my house. I've lost everything. I had to do something different. I couldn't keep doing this world here and relying on me. I wasn't going to put my family through that again. I was going to build a business that would outlast me. I die and it continues to pay my family. Are you with me? See, if you're over here in this S world and you die, come on, man. Your family's got to, what are they going to do? How are they going to pay the bills? The house that you built, now you're dead. Now they can't live there no more. Is that what you want? Your family's worried about a stupid piece of paper, a dollar bill? Man, that's not what you want. But over here, yes, it goes without me. My man Daniel Ing is in this category. And last summer, he went to Europe for 2 months. He came back. This was bigger. Are you hearing me? Now this takes longer. But once it's rolling, once you get it built, it is self-sufficient. It goes without you. It will grow in spite of you. These systems that we have set up inside of EXP, it's going to grow with or without you. It's going to grow. Now, it'll grow faster with you. Notice he only took 2 months. He didn't take the whole year. He didn't go backpacking for a year. He took 2 months, and he should have, because he's built this massive empire. So that's being a business owner. Let's So I looked at models inside of real estate, and what I found was a bunch of pyramids. This is just the traditional market right here. the traditional, what do they call it? Legacy model, traditional model. I don't know what you call it. This is your KW. There we go. You got a broker who's the boss. And then you got all these agents and people throughout here. Okay. This person right here is the only one getting the revenue from all the business right here. Okay. So, I mean, that's a pyramid. I don't like that. I don't like that pyramid. That ain't a good pyramid. And on top of that, your broker, there's nothing above him. It's empty space. This is the holy grail. This is the person you got to worship. They know all the answers. You know nothing. You're a moron. That's it. Right? I was like, that's not good. Now there's might be someone's going to argue, no, they now have they don't call it they call it something with revenue, but yeah, but they don't get to earn levels. Okay, I'm going to show you how we get to do that. This isn't good. This is a dead end. Okay, this just isn't going to grow. Sorry. This is how Glenn built it. Glenn built it backwards. He's like, nope, little bitty Paul Roberts when he comes here and he's got no experience in real estate. He gets to look up at the world and he's got everything. I've got anywhere from 11 to 15 brokers in the state of Texas I can reach out to. Not one. Not one. I've got right here, I've got the man that brought me in, Colin. Then I got Calvin. Then I got Daniel. Then I got James. And then I got Tom. And it continues to go up. All these people, all of those people have a vested interest in helping me. Not bad. Not one person. All these people. Now, here's the crazy thing. You ready for this? This person right here, Colin, does commercial. This person right here, Calvin, does commercial. This person right here, Daniel, does commercial. This person right here, Jim, does commercial. Guess what I do? Residential. I must quit. I got no support. Look at this. Look how horrible this is. This is just pathetic. I had someone I talked to the other day, and it drove me insane. He used to be part of our organization. And this is what he says. The most important thing is the group you join. I was like, son, I got four people above me. All they do is commercial. You didn't leverage, you didn't access the 90,000 agents all inside of here. There's 90,000 inside this upside down pyramid. 90,000. How are, never mind. So commercial. And then finally, right here's a residential guy. His name's Tom Trong. But I ain't calling Tom and saying, hey, bro, how do you do Sky Slope? Hey, man, I'm about to go do a listing appointment. You know, what color sign should I get? I'm not bothering that man with that. He's got a team of a couple thousand. When I talk to him, I want to know what his passion is. I want to know what drives him. I want to know what motivates him. I want to know why he went to the bottom and went back to the top, went back to the bottom, went all the way back to the top. Right? What's inside of him is what I want to know. Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people just like him. I ain't gonna waste his time with that. But I've got so many people that I can access. Now, the cool thing about Daniel's organization, this is Colin, Calvin, Daniel, this is Daniel, is Daniel's built a huge organization of residential and commercial people. That's the way he wanted to build his platform. So therefore, I have access to all the residential people inside of his team. And I have access to all the residential people, the 90,000 agents that are doing residential. Okay. We're all one big team. I've got my good friend up in Canada, used to be the VP of Canada. I mean, I got people in California. I got people in Pennsylvania. I got people everywhere. And I'll teach you how to make friends with all these people so you'll have them too. And you'll have access to everybody. And this is what I've learned about the person that is very, very good in this business. They still don't have all the answers. In fact, the best producers, the ones that do the most transactions, ask the most questions of the entire team. Okay. So I love this model that he's built. Thank you for building it. Very similar to the model that I built in my other business. Let's talk about how you do this. This is you. Okay. Do not simplify, do not confuse my very, very simple system. One, two, three, four. I think that's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 people. I'm asking you to invite 12 people. Here's how you invite them. You ready? Hey, yo, I want you to meet Paul Roberts. He built a big business. He sold it, made a lot of money. He knows how to build teams. He can teach you how to do this business. He can put you in front of the right people. He's got the secret sauce to training and education that almost no leader has. He's got a can-do attitude. He's got an I can't quit attitude. He's exactly who you want in your corner. That's all you do. If they say nope, don't want to do it, just say thank you. Go ask somebody else. See, I got excited when people said no. Well, what happens is so often is someone says no to you and you want to come analyze with me. What did you say wrong? Nothing. Just ask somebody else. Just ask somebody else. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Promise you. You just can't. Just keep asking people over and over and over again. Hey man, come check this out. You know, Paul does it, da, 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 whatever. Put him on three-way, call me, whatever it is. He's got the secret sauce of training and education. I'm gonna give you a hint of what that is. Starts with self-image, starts with self-worth. I don't care how good your education and training are. If you're not teaching on those things, you're done. Okay. So you just invite 12 people in. Here's what I know. These are the facts. These are the numbers. I've been doing this 20 years. Four people are going to go absolutely insane, crazy. And they're going to, if you have 1,000 people on your team, these people are going to bring in about 700, maybe 800. Let's just say 700. Okay. And I could probably call Tom up right now and say, hey, bro, I bet. And he'd say, yep, you're about right. Four people brought in the most. Okay. And then the rest will bring in the additional 300. Now I could break all these down for you. I'm not going to go too far into that. But here's where it just gets insane is because this person brings in this person, brings in this person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got too much room here. Let's do 7 right here. This person right here that you probably don't even know who he or she is, you earn revenue every time they do a transaction. That simple. And it wasn't off of your effort. In fact, this seventh person could have came in when you were in New Zealand having a good time with your family. You don't know when. Like Tom, you know, Tom's up here. I'm like almost 7 below him. I just introduce myself to him every time I see him just to make sure he knows who I am because this team's so big. That's a good problem to have. But you'll never have that problem if you keep analyzing all of this right here and fight me on it. Well, I want to hire quality. You don't know what quality is. You have no idea what's inside a man or a woman. The only time you know when you have quality is how they handle adversity. That's the only time you know what you got. Because my good friend and my pastor, Tim Goat, says, I have met so many starters in this life. Golly, have I met so many starters. I have met fewer, much fewer finishers. Why? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to do very well. Other people won't. They won't do very well. I didn't know what was inside of them till they hit some type of roadblock. You never know. It's not till they hit their first adversity. Now, a lot of folks say, well, how much do I earn when he or she does a transaction? Don't worry about it. Just don't. Just, I'm telling you, man, don't simplify. Don't confuse this very simple deal we got here. You earn revenue every time they do something. Now, if you got to know, it's about 400 bucks. And it gets a little bit more on this one, goes down a little bit on this one, goes down a little bit on this one, goes up, and goes up, and goes up. Listen to me. You're building relationships. You're building relationships off the motto of everyone has a story because everyone has a story. Instead of worrying about what you're going to make off this person, can you please get to know that person? Can you find out what their hobbies are? Can you find out? Can you know their wife's name or their husband's name? Can you know how many kids they got? Can you know if you can you find out if he's got any brothers and sisters? Is he close to his mom? Is he close to his brother? Is she close to his sister? Is she close to her father? Can you find out? Do they got pets? What did they do before this? How long did they do it? Where have they been successful? Where have they not been successful? Can you take the time to find out about this person? Because if you can, I promise you, this whole thing takes care of itself. No kidding. But if you get so focused on, man, what am I going to earn off of this person? Or what am I going to earn off that person? That's the moment you die. That's the moment it all goes away. This is a very simple business. This is not difficult. Don't make it difficult. I watch so many people struggle with this. You should hear the things I've heard. I've heard top producers ask questions like, "Well, what's your script? Are you ready? I ain't got one." Hey, Jimmy, Paul Roberts, how you doing? Depending how they answer, depending on what they say, depends on where we go with this bad boy. Hey, man, I'm real busy. I don't got a lot of time to talk. Hey, totally understand. Why don't I call you back later? I was just wanting to understand what was going on in your business and how things were done. So that conversation is going to go different. I can't script that. It depends on how they answer the phone. It depends on what they say back to me. Yeah, hey, what's going on, Paul? Hey, man, I'm so glad to talk to you. Listen, this is what I tell people. This is what's going to mess you up. Especially the experienced real estate agent. Okay, because I'm going to mess you up so bad. You ready? Hey, Bill, Paul Roberts here. Just 100% transparency. I'm brand new to real estate. That's what I say. No kidding. You can ask anybody in our office when they watch me cold call. That's what I say to start. Hey, I'm brand new to just full transparency. I'm brand new to real estate. That's how I open up the conversation. You want to know why? Because then they get to teach me something. They're important. So you think you have to be so important and vital to their life that you're just going to bless them with your expertise and greatness. Sit down, young man, and let me help you through life. That's the way you're behaving when you say, I got to know more. I have to learn more. I tell people I'm new because then they get to coach me. And then I even say to them, hey, listen, yeah, if you join my team, man, I got a lot to learn from you. Because like this one girl I talked to last week, she said she did wholesaling. I said, I want to learn about that. Man, I want to learn about that. Then I talked to another person that's doing flips. Now I do know how to do flips. Okay. I know how to do them now. I get them. Not that difficult. But you ready for this? Man, I hope you join my team. There's so much I want to learn from you when it comes to doing flips. Quit being the almighty and thinking you got to have all the answers. You don't. The more you can be vulnerable, you say, yo, I'm new. What can you teach me? See, especially top producers, they love to teach people, man. They get fired up and emotional about it. Let them teach. You ain't got to know all the answers. In fact, the less answers you know, the better. Okay, I'm going to get off the soapbox. Hope you enjoyed what I've shared here with you. The revenue share is ridiculous. I just saw something where we paid out 137 billion in revenue share last year. I think that was the number. Just some ridiculous number where Glenn is sharing his profit with me, someone that can't barely spell real estate, doesn't have a broker's license, and I get to use all of his internal stuff, right? I got lawyers backing me up. Yeah. I got 11, not one broker. I think it's 15 brokers in the state of Texas, somewhere around there, but it's a lot, right? It's enough. I don't got one. I mean, just think about everything that's at my fingertips. And he's sharing his revenue with us. Absolutely phenomenal. I've met people that over the time they've been here have received $48 million in revenue share. Why not you? Why not me? Right? That's the way I look at it. Why not me? Come join us. Let me teach you how to build. Let me teach you something so vital to your success. And that was that number two, education and training, which you're not using properly. Let me teach you how to do that. I don't care what background I have. I can teach you that. You can teach me some real estate stuff, but I can teach you that. And I can teach you how to build a huge, massive, massive revenue share that will change your life forever. Uh, Lastly, I just want to thank Daniel Ing for showing me this opportunity. I didn't know what I was going to do. I sold my company. I kind of thought I was going to retire, but you can't retire when you're only, at the time I was 53, I'm 55 now. You can't retire when you're that young. It's not going to go well for you. I got a lot going on in my life that's just not good. So thank you, Daniel, for sharing this with me. And I hope that I get to introduce you to him. He's an amazing, beautiful man. All my information is in the comments below as well as in the description. My phone number is everywhere. If you just want to text me, call me, whatever it is. If you just got questions, call me, ask me. If you want to tell me this is the dumbest opportunity in the world, I'll be like, cool, man. Rock on, dude. How things going? How's mom? How's dad? What's your favorite football team? I ain't gonna argue with you because this is the best and the baddest. And just come back and see me in a couple years, see what I've done. I used to say that to people in my old business, and it works. Go get yours. I'm getting mine. Adios.